Hi, I'm Gemma and this is a chat with Gemma. So I have a new computer, idea being that it will have a better memory and storage. However, when you buy a new computer, you have to spend a certain amount of time in psychological hell. At the moment, I can't get my external microphone to work with this, and I had a little jack where it did fit into the hole in this one because it's different to the one before. But now I've lost the little connection and I couldn't get it to work anyway when I did have the connection, so not in a good mood. Plus, things have been pretty stressful with a member of my family, and that's not very nice. Watching that person going through what they're going through, and when I have times like that, I can be very functional and I can go and get all these things done, and other times I can feel like as if I can't get out of bed in the morning and just have no energy and feel kind of angry, nervous, anxious, all those things. But anyway, that's for me to deal with, not you. So I wanted to I have kind of talked about it before, about how sometimes we can feel like we are the one left out. And so, we may be wrong. We can have perceptions about things that are not actually true. But I don't know, somehow or other, I had a bit of an idea of that. Even though, I'm the oldest in my family, and so I was quite special in some ways in that, there were certain ways in which I was made a fuss of. So the other thing is getting the lighting right for this, because I can almost go without the light, and the room light seems to be almost okay. But anyway, you can tell me what you think if you want. But now I've got a shadow. But if I make it like I normally have it, it's a bit too bright. Anyway, whatevs. So, yeah, I couldn't have said I was left out, because oftentimes we'd go to, I don't know, some relative's place I didn't even know, and they'd, oh, I know Gemma, all the rest of them I don't know, things like that. So, but in my family, I'm the only one out of 11 people to never have gotten married. And everybody else would just meet somebody and instantly be married, just not me. So there were, some, I suppose, we get ideas maybe that are just, as I say, we're perceiving the thing incorrectly. But anyway, so as you know, I'm a Roman Catholic of the charismatic variety, and I've gone to lots of different things, not always Catholic things, and had a lot of experience of all of that. And so there's this thing called the joy of the Spirit, which I'm sure you probably know about already. And sometimes people would seem to get that, but I wouldn't, If I laughed, I'd maybe laugh just at them being silly. Anyway, I went along to this particular prayer meeting one night. It was at a church that belongs to my sister and my brother-in-law, and they're not Catholics anymore. They were sort of, I don't know, whatever they are, Pentecostal, that sort of thing. And they while they're not Catholic, they're quite good. They have a lot of faith, more faith than I've seen in a lot of places. I mean, they could believe for almost anything. And so they were having this prayer group, and whatever happened is whatever happened. And then at the end, somebody started to laugh. And then somebody else started to laugh. And I thought, oh, the joy of the Spirit is falling on everybody. So if you don't know what that is, it's just that the spirit of joy through the Holy Spirit, or the joy of the Holy Spirit, falls on people. And I don't know why this happens, but it is kind of a manifestation of the Holy Spirit, and people get full of joy and they just laugh, like belly laugh, uncontrollably. So one by one down they all go, the whole group. I don't know whether my sister and my brother-in-law, I think they were up and about doing something else. I don't know. The meeting was pretty much over. And one by one, all the rest of the people went down onto the ground. We're just laughing and laughing and laughing. Until they were all laughing except me. And so I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I could go into my my normal sort of non-Christian thoughts of, oh, yeah, that'd be right, God. Yeah, out of all these people, you'd leave me out, wouldn't you? Do you ever feel like that? And I thought, okay, all right, God, I give you permission to just give all these people the joy of laughter, and not me, if that's your choice. I'm sure you have some good reason for that. I'm trying to be Christian here. Trying to not get into negative sort of darker stuff, and thinking, okay, you know what, God, if that's the way it is, I'm just going to kind of enjoy other people's enjoyment. I'm going to enjoy the fact, because it is funny to watch people laugh. I mean, it usually does, particularly babies, makes me laugh, just belly laugh, watching a baby laugh. So I started to kind of open my eyes, look around, enjoy the scene, just, oh, isn't it lovely that that person's laughing? Isn't it wonderful that person's got the gift of joy? That's really wonderful. It's so wonderful. And so I'm taking it in. I'm really observing, And I'm not usually, I suppose I'm so self-centered. I'm not usually that observant a person. And plus I think I'm a bit ADD anyway. So, now I'm really watching acutely. And there were these two young ladies, and they were on the floor together, sort of facing each other, and they were almost like hugging together. They were like two babies or two toddlers together, just so young and innocent and completely consumed by laughter and sort of, it was just sort of baby-like. And I was just enjoying that so much, and I thought it was just so cute. Anyway, bit by bit this, quietens down. And then, the last person just finished laughing, and it finished. And I just started to laugh. And I'm sitting down on a chair, and everybody else was on the floor, but now they're getting up and they're, getting their keys out and bye, and I'm going now, all this stuff. And I started to laugh. And I thought, I'm just getting amused by having seen what I just saw, because it was quite amusing, I suppose. And I thought, no, there was just this bubbling up inside me, bubbling, and I started to belly laugh, like this was not under my control. And I belly laughed and belly laughed and belly laughed. And next I was on the floor. Everybody else is standing up now. I'm the only one doing this. And I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. And I think, okay, Gemma, settle down. And then I'd laugh again. And I'd be, now come on, let's control ourselves now. And I'd get a hold of it. And then I'd belly laugh again and again and again. And it took me ages for it to finish. And I thought, oh, so I wasn't left out. But why did God do it that way? I really don't know. By all means, tell me what you make of it. All right, I thought I'd share that with you because we can often have moments in our lives where we feel like, oh, yeah, that'd be right. It had to be me, or, everything went right for everybody else who did that, but, when I wanted to, whatever it was, something went wrong or whatever. So we can think that, we're left out, or we're the one always sort of missing out on something. So you never know. Maybe something good will happen to you too. All right, God bless and bye for now.